Likutei Vaeschanan, page 22, bottom of the first column. We're going to start 5 lines to the end of the first column. Okay, now the Rabbi is explaining that in order to come to this level of Shema Yisrael Vaeschanan, and like he's explaining that in the first base of Migdosh, they were able to go straight from Shema to V'Yohavta because they had a super level of Bittul. But later generation, there wasn't the level of Bittul, so they had to go first through Baruch Shem Tov Malchus Olam V'Ad Yichud Tato. And then they were able to come to the level of V'Yohavta. And the Alter Rebbe, the last thing what we're learning here, the Alter Rebbe said that Chol Davar She'eina Be'Bittul L'Ratzein, anything which is done without Bittul of the will is not called Avodah. If something is done that I want to do and I enjoy doing it, it's not Eved, it's not Avodah. The whole concept of Avodah is to do what you don't want to do. Because when you do what I want to do, then it's all me. If I do what I don't want to do, then it's not me. Then I'm batel to Hashem. Ubittul Ratzin, and this Bittul of Ratzin Haine Kipshutei, it means Poshet simply what it means. Last is Heipach Mashal Lev Chomet, to do the opposite of what the heart wants. Dafka, because I want to do it, I don't do it. And both in the level of Sur Meirah and the level of Asay Teif. The Sur Meirah, what's the level of Sur Meirah? Like he says, Kaddish Etzatzmucha B'Mutalach. By sanctifying oneself, there's a pasuk in Chumash Kedeshim to you. The Rishonim write, it's a part of the mitzvah to be holy. So when you be holy, you have to do mitzvahs when you be holy. So they say it means Kaddish es atzmacha b'mutalach. You have to sanctify yourself with what's permitted to you. Meaning, just because it's permitted doesn't mean I do it. Like Chassidim had an expression, was metar nicht, tar nicht. What you're not allowed to, you're not allowed to. Und was bemerkt, darfst du nicht. And what you're allowed to, you don't need. That's really the Avodah of an Eved. Not because we're not talking about Torah mitzvahs simply. Torah mitzvahs is Avodah that you have to do. What's the Avodah of an Eved? He says that's the level of Neder. V'ish ki yidon Neder Lashem. Or like it says, Nedorim siyog la precious. Nedorim is this fence for separation. Uprecious maybe de kedusha. That's the Avad Abba b'chol levavcha. Okay, so bottom line is that the whole concept of Avodah of the Jew is to come to the level of Yohavta Hashem Elokecha b'chol levavcha b'shnei yitzarecha. That's the ultimate goal, and the only way that can happen is through the level of Bittul. That's what the Alter Rebbe is explaining. Now he says, top of the second column, the Alter Rebbe asks like this. Sometimes the Gemara says, or like it says in Pirkei Avos, Perishus Mevili de Kedusha, and then in another place it says, cleanliness brings you to Perishus. So he says, what does that mean? What Nikiyas are we talking about? Hainu Shekoydem Achurban Hisigu B'chinas Neder. They understood the level of Neder, Avokayim Anoeim Bli Neder. Nowadays, a person always has to say Bli Neder. In those days, they used to make Nedorim. Okay, why? Because they're on a holier level. And a Neder is a separate. A Neder means I'm halachically allowed to do it, and I make a Neder, I'm not going to do it. If it's forbidden to do, you can't make a Neder, I'm not going to eat, I swear I'm not going to eat Chazer. I mean, you're already Mushbavayim in Mar Sinai. So he said, that's the level of Sur Meirah. Sur Meirah means not necessarily evil. He's saying Sur Meirah means even in those things that are permissible, you don't do because you don't need it. And just to break themselves. Dr. Eben Tanya says, the Gemara says in Psachim that it goes through the hours of the day. The gangsters eat the first hour of the day. People eat the second hour of the day. So it says normal people eat, regular people eat in the 4th hour of the day. And Tzaddik, Chacham, and Talmidei Chacham eat in the 6th hour of the day. So the Rebbe says, they learned before and after, why couldn't they eat like everybody else? in the 4th hour. They were anyway learning before and after. So why can't they just eat the same time as everybody else? Now the Rebbe says they just broke themselves. Yeah, I'm going to eat, but I'm going to break myself. I'm just not going to eat now. I'm going to wait 2 hours, an hour, whatever it is. It says in Sfarim, if a person wants to sin, they're dying to sin, they should tell themselves, you know what? In an hour we'll do it. Delay sin. What happens? 2 things. Number one, then the heat of the moment sometimes cools down, so you end up not doing it. Or even if you end up doing it, it says, even if you end up sinning, the fact that you held yourself in for an hour before you sinned is also a remarkable thing. So he said that's Surmera.
Isn't a nether gather around?
Yeah, so what?
No, I'm just saying, that's why people made it. To have a
to be above and beyond. No, not boundaries. To be above and beyond. Okay. That's not Aseitev is the opposite. What does that mean? I know the Gemara says in Chagiga in Nedaim L'Shena Pirka Mea Pa'amim L'Shena Pirka Mea Pa'amim B'Yachad. Says the Gemara says the pasuk Shaftu Nisem Bein Eved L'Kim L'Asher Le'Avadai. Look at the difference between Tzaddik L'Rasha, between Tzaddik and L'Rasha, Eved L'Kim L'Asher Le'Avadai. So the Gemara says it doesn't mean because then it's redundant. Tzaddik and Rosh is Eved Elokim Le'Avadei. L'cher is the same thing. So the Gemara says, now the Rebbe brings it down, Perek Tezvav of Tanya. The Gemara says, what it means is no. If you learn your Gemara 100 times, you're called Le'Avadei. And Eved Elokim is 101 times. So there's a Tzaddik and the Rosh. And then even in Kedusha itself, there's an Eved Elokim and L'Asher Le'Avadei. Here we're talking the whole time about Eved. Avodah. But like he says, there has to be bittul haratzon. So first he said bittul haratzon means I want to do it, it's permissible, but I don't do it anyway, just to break myself. Then Aseitev is another bittul haratzon. It's all good. Meaning, Shapam ha'echad shu yesim in the one time that's above the nature. Because again, the Rebbe explains in Tanya, people used to learn, in those days there was no books printed, so everything was by heart, so they reviewed it 100 times to remember it, to learn it. So, yeah, breaking discipline. So he says, Aseitev, and in fact, Chassidus explains, Asay doesn't only mean do. Ma'atzin ala tzedakah, there's an expression in Gemara, you force somebody to give tzedakah. Asay tev means force yourself to do good. That means you're forcing yourself, you're doing it more than your nature. Because if you do it with your nature, you're learning 100 times. Can you imagine you're learning 100 times the piece of Gemara, and the Gemara says you're called Lo Yavodeh. You're not serving Hashem. V'chein b'tzedakah. Same thing with tzedakah. Shapru teshu neisen yesim egirlusei. The extra penny. You know, the first thing, you put in an extra penny once. Instead of one, you put in 2. Yesim and aregilus. It's very prominent. It's even better than the first penny. V'zel kabbalah sel malchus shemayim. And that's the level, what? That's the level of Malchus Shemayim. That's what the Shema Yisrael Havaya Lekinu Havaya Echad is Kabbalah Yichudi Lo. Kabbalah's Malchus Shemayim. Baruch Shem Kved Malchus Olam Vad is Yichudi Tato, which by the way is more bittul, like we learned, bittul haratzon than Yichudi Lo. Bittul is more by. So he says nowadays we have the Baruch Shem Kved Malchus bittul Yichudi Tato rebuttal. So he says the bittul of Kabbalah so Malchus Shemayim to reach the level of V'ahavta, that you become one with Hashem. Again, V'ahavta means you become one, which is the concept of an Eved. The Eved is completely the Metzia. Eved Avram Anechi is the Metzias of Avram. He's a completely non-existent entity. That has the bittul of Sur Merah and the bittul of Aseitev. Sur Merah, he said, Kaddish Esasmacha B'mutalach, not only not sinning, that's a given. Avoida means Even what I want to do, I don't do, just because I want to do it. Or you do it later, whatever. And then you have the level of Asay Taiv. In Kedusha, you break your nature to go above and beyond it. Hashem planted or light for a tzaddik, or it says, planted for me in the earth. This is the rule. I'll Rabbi explain like this. There's a rule from one yesh to another yesh must be an ayin be'emtza. Because if one entity is what it is, then it can become something else. If it's light, it's light. It can be day. Dark. If it's dark, it's dark. You can make it light. In order from yesh to become yesh, there has to be a bittul of the first mitzias. And Al Rebbe is going to explain, you plant a seed in the ground, it has to rot, it has to germinate. After it rots, then you can get a tree. Why? Because the seed is a seed. In order for the seed to produce what it's not, a tree, it has potential, but still it's not a tree. So you have to bittul be'emsa.
What about the enjoyments that Hashem made?
The what?
Enjoyments. Ice cream. I say the bracha. Hashem created ice cream. I say the bracha. But what do I say? I say I wait 5 minutes because...
No, not after you make the bracha. Don't wait 5 minutes.
No, I mean...
To make the bracha for...
I don't eat the ice cream because I want to break my left Shabbat because I...
Yeah, you just don't eat it.
But I'm saying the bracha.
Don't make a bracha and don't eat it.
So why did Hashem create the ice cream?
That we shouldn't eat it.
We shouldn't eat it.
Yeah.
We should make a bracha.
There is good. Hashem makes everything for a reason.
Yeah. You have to learn from everybody, right?
Yeah.
From some people you learn what to be, and when some people learn what not to be. You learn from everybody. Why did Hashem create bad people? Because you have to learn what not to be. There are times a person could eat. I'm not saying it's forbidden to eat. But the truth of the matter, what Al Rebbe really means over here, when I have a very strong desire to eat it. I really want, I come to somebody's house and they serve ice cream, eat it. Okay? Because they serve it, you eat it. Right? And you make a bracha, yeah. And I'm saying, what Al Rebbe is talking about here is, well, I really want an ice cream. And they say, you know what? I'll do without it.
It's not because of that. To train yourself to control that urge that you have.
That's concept of Aveda. Not to give in. Now in Ruchnius it's the opposite. You have to torture yourself to do more. Like Rabbi Zayda fasted between Bavli and Yerushalmi. He fasted to forget Bavli to learn Yerushalmi. So Chassidus explains that's the Indian from Yesh to Yesh, from Bavli to Yerushalmi. He has to be Ayin Bemsa. You have to forget it. Commercial Azariah, like a commercial planting. Shazair in garden Echad, you plant a seed. It doesn't grow when it rots. Then when it rots, you get many things grow from it. So it is in the nimshol. When a person mevatel his ratzon, and breaks evil, then you can come to the level of b'chol meidach b'ligvul. Bechinas Ava Gedela. It's such a level of Ava, it's called Ma'id. That means it cannot be restrained and restricted in a vessel. It's Ava of Bligvul. Shani Yechel is Kabul Bekli. It cannot be accepted in a vessel. Shebechinas B'chol Nafshcha is Ava, that's in the Mayach, which is Keli. Bechinas Meidecha is B'leishim Keli. What is the keli for that? Ela keli, what we say in Pasuk Eliyahu, Malchus Peh, the Torah Shebal Peh Korinun Lo, v'nikra mitzvah samelech. It's called the mitzvah of the king. Also, mutter, tameh, v'tar, kosher, the apostle, u'masnita, whatever it is. So that's the level of bittul of the avodah of the Jew. To come into this, so he said that's why you have two levels of havaya, and you have a concept of gathering and all this. Because there's a havaya that's savor and mamal, and you're bringing one into the next. It's all only accomplished through the level of bittul.
I'm sorry, can we go back to the ice cream?
Yeah.
You eat the ice cream?
Okay, I think somebody should buy him an ice cream.
You say the bracha, you bring the kedusha down.
What flavor?
Napoleon?
Neapolitan, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, Moritz, and even in ice cream, you don't know anything. No.
So you say the bracha, you bring the kedusha down. But when you restrain, which one is a higher level? To bring the Baruch Atah down? Or
Trust me, a person that's eating the ice cream for taiva, he's not going to say, Baruch Atah, I'm going to be bringing down the look. Because if you would think that, he wouldn't eat the ice cream.
you say the bracha.
Yeah, halachically, you didn't steal from Hashem, you made a bracha, you're allowed to eat it. But what does Alter Rebbe say in Tanya? You lower the food into shol strips of tomatoes.
The Rebbe says if there's no guy in it, I touch it, I say the bracha, I elevate it.
Yeah, but that's if you don't eat it l'taiva. But then Perek Zayin has over there when he speaks about mecholim asurim, mecholim ateirim, okay? Do you need kafakela and chibur hakeva for those things? Okay. V'zehu, that's what the pasuk says. Kinyam mitzarechem v'shimchem. So we'll establish your seed. And shimchem, he says, zrachem is the or zerua, like and v'sham, zarachem v'shimchem is the yazdav. V'shimchem means your name. V'yazdav v'shem kabbalah so malchus shemayim, which is the level of bittul. Rekivas hagarin sha'idei yochalias atzmicha. So that's what it says in the pasuk. Kenyamid zarachem v'shimchem. What does that refer to? The level of bittul of sur meran aseitiv, the level of bittul, and that's what makes yared zarachem v'shimchem, the level of zera and shame, name, that this becomes the standing up established. Oh, where's this parenthesis? Okay, you have to skip like 10 lines. The ayim in pasuk Shema b'rabbeis she'ashirim okay. V'zeu de'ein nosatil fenachayim. That's what the pasuk says. After Rebbe quoted this pasuk at the beginning of the Maimer. Re'ein nosatil fenachayim esachayim esateiv. It's a mavis, a sarah. Hashem said, look, I'm giving you today chayim and mavis, life and death, tevera, ubacharta b'chayim. Mavur le'il, the bechin is chayim. What is the level of chayim? It doesn't mean physical life. Zamash shelamayla me'ar parsa, which is even higher than the curtain. That means it's the level of or that's not limited by the curtain. Umaves nikra pseles shenizbarim mitachas a parsa. Achine Shlomo Melech says, hara umami maves. Evil is worse than death. Meaning, that's the level of pa'or. What was the pa'or? They would go to the bathroom in front of them. The way of worshipping Baal Pa'or was they went to the bathroom in front of Baal Pa'or. Yeah? And it says, what was the thing? The form of worshipping the idol was they took when you go to the bathroom, yeah, and you worship, you make it worshiping the Baal. That's making ultimate level of klipa, serving their idol. Shaya says Yesh Goma. That's worse than the etzem apselis mitzad atzmei. The Rebbe says in Tanya, also, a person that eats chazir, let's say, who does a sin, he is worse than the chazir itself. The chazir itself is created shalosh tivus atameis. The chazir didn't have free will, yes to be or not to be kedusha, not to be kedusha. Hashem made the chazir shalosh tivus atameis. A person who eats chazir or does ra, the ra was the ra. Hashem created ra as ra. Now a person who does ra, he chose to do ra, is worse than the ra itself. He had the b'chira, and he didn't have to be that. The chazir, that's where Hashem made it. What do you want? You know, that of zeh, b'chinas ha-tev, or l'maylam b'chinas ha-chayim. Tev is even better than chayim. That's why the pasuk seemingly repeats itself. Rei nosatim f'necha yem es ha-chayim es ha-mavis, es ha-tev ha-ra. Why does it say chayim and mavis, tev and ra? Because Al Rebbe is explaining over here, chayim, that means the tev is better than chayim, and the ra is worse than mavis. Like Shlomo HaMelech says. Why? Ukemaim merazal yof ha'shachar b'tshuva ma'asim tevim b'elam hazeh mikol chay elam haba. Tshuva ma'asim tevim is better than the whole elam haba, and it says ki tev chastecha mechayim. Your chesed is even better than chayim. That means tev is even better than chayim. Why? Because chayis kol ha'elam is only from the base Asius Yud Kei Hashem Tzurei Lamed. But Yud Nivra Elam Haba and Behed Nivra Elam Hazeh. Meaning like this. We say in davening, it's a pasuk, Ki B'Yud Kei Hashem Tzurei Lamed. Right? So the Gemara says, B'Yud Nivra Elam Haba, Behed Nivra Elam Hazeh. That means the whole chayis of Elam Haba is only the letter Yud. It's limited in a letter, in Dibor of Yud. The whole chayis of Olam Hazeh is a Hey, again, Dibor. This is higher than Dibor. This is higher than world. And this world of Yud and Hey, which are like, the Rebbe explains by Chof, of Tanya, one letter compared to the power of speech, the power of all that. So he says it's nothing. It's nothing compared to the essence of Hashem, and also, like it says, Chochmah gives life, makes you alive, which is it's Chai v'loi b'chayim. As the expression goes, Hashem is Chai v'loi b'chayim. In other words, there's a level of Alukus which is even higher than Chayim. As the expression goes, Mechaya Chaim is Barich. The Rebbe says a number of times in Tanya the expression. It comes Mechaya Chaim means the source of Chaim. So it's much greater than Chaim. V'loi b'chaim uksiv ki'im chamekar Chaim. Dafilu b'chinis makar Chaim. Imcha makar Chaim means with you is the source of life. Right? But the Rebbe explains, Imcha means it with you, means it's not you. It's only with you, it's secondary to you. Ki Imcha makar Chaim, bottled to you is even the makar Chaim. Even the source of life, the fact that it's a source of life means it's limited. And therefore that's only Imcha. That's when the Rebbe said, Kimcha lechafatzti, right? I don't want your Gan Eden, I don't want your Elam Haba, I want you. That says Shnei Pa'amim, how do you get this level? Through B'chol Me'edacham.
But the question is, who is not going to choose the life?
What?
The very question was, I give you good and not good, and life and not life.
No.
Who's going to choose not life? they should be.
It doesn't mean physical life. It means life of Torah mitzvahs. Chaim and Movetz, Atam Adveikim Hashem Lakechem Chaim Kolchem Hayom. Chaim means clinging to Hashem. And the opposite is Movetz. So Hashem is not speaking, hey, I'm giving you life and does pick life. I mean, normal people are not going to commit suicide. Okay, so life is, of course everybody wants life. But he's not talking about that life of ice cream. He's talking the life of Torah, of connection to Hashem. Hatveikim Hashem Elokeich. Okay. Finish the Maimer. Okay, the next